Once you do planting and weed control, everything else, there's a few other things that you need to follow up care, as I called watering. Frequency is the most important. Okay. The best way to test how much water you need is to take a metal rod or screwdriver, put in a soil, and pull it out. If you have a soil on the metal rod or screwdriver, there is enough moisture. If none, you do the watering. I think you folks in South, you know when to water your trees. You know when it's dry. You know when to do that. Whatever you do, the frequency. Slow watering. Don't try to put lots of water all at once. Soak them, don't flood them. That's really important message. Water them immediately after planting, early morning or early evening. Mature trees also, if you have already mature trees, water them in the fall. Slow watering is really important for those trees, because right now in the springtime, the water available to those trees is the water you put last fall. So water them in the fall. This is how much water is you need to use for planted trees. It's done by Americans, University of Minnesota. Unfortunately, in Canada, we don't have any guidelines how much water you use. But the Americans did a pile of studies, and this is just recommended by the how much size of the inches, how much time roots takes to establish, and how many gallons of water each tree requires. Again, when you plant it, once or twice weekly, 3 to 12 weeks after planting, water every 2 or 3 days, and after 12 weeks, water weekly. So until the roots are established. Once the roots are established, then you water as needed, and always water them in the fall. Fertilizing. Lots of people ask me about fertilizing. Don't fertilize your trees unless you know there's a soil deficiencies. The second time when you really need to fertilize the trees, when you know the trees are struggling due to insects and disease outbreaks, due to drought, due to the trees are under the stress, then when you can use the fertilizer. If you do the fertilizing, always try to look. This is what is called drip line, where the furthest branches are. This is where you put your fertilizer spikes. This particular fertilizer spikes. Don't put the fertilizer spikes close to the trunk. It's not going to help. The roots of the trees are furthest away from the trunk. So make sure that you fertilize them as further as possible where the roots are, that they will take nutrients where they need it. As I said, don't try to fertilize them every year, because you're going to make more damage than good. Then after you plant it, you're going to have lots of damages from moose to, well, you don't have a moose, deer, wind, wires. Lawnmowers are notoriously killing the lots of trees by the root damage. So you might considering some of the things as a tree guards, using the dogs if you have a problem with the wildlife, using the tree guards around for the weed whacker. But again, the best thing you can do is put the mulch, and you put a tree guard, and you really secure your trees. This is some of the design I did for the Willow Creek County, designed on the clay soils for the southern Alberta. And again, this is some of the examples what kind of trees and shrubs you might consider to plant if you have a clay soils, if you have a sandy soil. So I have a fact sheets on my blog that you can use. In summary, you must understand local environmental condition. Do the proper planning before you do anything. Visit all of the established Shelterbelts. Diversity. Do the proper site preparation. You must do the weed control in the first 3 or 5 years. Water them as it recommended. Have some plan for the potential of the wildlife and insects and disease. And once a week, either drive by, walk by, whatever, check your trees. Monitor. This is my contact. You can go and check my blog, and I have lots of fact sheets that I provided at the county, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions on the trees and shrubs, please contact your agriculture services. You have a great staff in the county of Lethbridge County that you can always ask the questions, and they will let me know about if you have any problem with the trees and shrubs. Thank you very much.